Preface to Pioneer Life Among the Loyalists in Upper Canada. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by David Wales. Pioneer Life Among the Loyalists in Upper Canada by W.S. Herrington. Preface. To present a picture of the early settlements of Ontario, and enter into the daily life of the pioneers, is a most fascinating task. As we visit these historic districts and mingle with the descendants of the men and women who built the first log cabins in the forest, we imbibe the spirit of their simple life. Many of the old landmarks recall the stories of strange experiences we have so often heard, and the presence of the very flesh and blood of the first actors in the drama of the long struggle in the wilderness makes the scene all the more realistic. We think we can discern in the honest faces and general demeanor of these living links in our history something which indicates a deep-rooted sense of citizenship and a consciousness of a responsibility in keeping inviolate the traditions of their ancestors. In the following pages I have endeavored to bring the reader into closer touch with the first settlers. Many excellent historical works have traced the development of our province and laid before us the achievements of our public men. In vain may we turn over volume after volume in our search for information concerning the evolution of the homestead and the customs and peculiarities of the common folk of long ago. For the most part, the sources of my information have been original documents and interviews with old men and women, many of whom have since passed away. Even from such sources it is an easy matter to fall into error, but I have discarded what I feared was not trustworthy, and believe that I can confidently ask the reader to accept the general statements of facts as thoroughly reliable. I wish to acknowledge the receipt of many valuable suggestions from the Honourable Mr. Justice Riddle of Osgoode Hall, Toronto, and Dr. James H. Coyne of St. Thomas. I am also deeply indebted to Dr. M. R. Morden of Adrian, Michigan, the late Peter Bristol of Napanee, and Elisha Rutan of Adolphustown for much useful information regarding the pioneers. W.S.H. Napanee, Ontario, December 1st, 1915. End of Preface. Chapter 1 of Pioneer Life Among the Loyalists in Upper Canada by W.S. Herrington. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Chapter 1. The First Settlers of Upper Canada. One of the unexpected outcomes of the Revolutionary War was the effective settlement of what afterwards became known as Upper Canada. Up to that time, the greater part of this rich territory was a wilderness, to which the white man had attached little value, except in respect to the part it played, through its chain of forts, in giving access to the great fur-producing tracts of the interior of the continent. Although the French governors had frequently advocated the introduction of settlers into this part of Canada, with a view to establishing the supremacy of France more securely upon the Great Lakes, very little had been accomplished in that direction. The net result was a few military posts along the border and a French settlement in the neighborhood of Detroit. The entire European population, grouped about a few centers, did not exceed 2,000. Throughout the rest of this territory, where now we find busy towns, thriving villages, and well-equipped farms, one might have traveled for weeks without meeting a human being, save perhaps a solitary trapper, with a small bundle of peltries upon his back. That the rich farmlands of what is now the Banner Province of Canada were apparently so long overlooked might appear strange if we do not bear in mind that there was no shortage of territory well adapted to agricultural purposes on the Atlantic seaboard and on the lower St. Lawrence. It must also be remembered that the fur trade had for nearly 2 centuries held first place in the regard of the government bodies of Canada, and that little care was bestowed upon the agricultural possibilities of the lands bordering upon the upper St. Lawrence and the Great Lakes. The manner in which the settlements were begun was more remarkable than the long delay in beginning them.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?